Hey there, it's Scott, startatherapypractice.com. Hope you're having a great day today. So recently I visited a friend of mine from church, and we had some historic flooding in our state. Just some crazy amount of rain and water that came down the Arkansas River. He lives right on the Arkansas River. He owns a mobile home park and an RV park right there. And he said, Scott, you got to come see what the water's doing down here. So I go to his house and his deck. He lives on a little bit of a rise, so the river has not come into his house. But where his deck is, it's like right there. And he's fishing from his deck. And I asked him, I said, well, how far is the water normally? And he said 30 yards that way. The water had come in that far, and it had creeped into his RV park. But we had a great visit. It was very interesting to see how the water had come in. And he's a business guy. He's an entrepreneur. He's got his hands in some different things. He likes business property. He likes doing rentals. He likes selling property. But he has all kinds of ideas. He's a true entrepreneur. And so he asked me, knowing that I'm a business guy too and I have my own business, he said, Scott, what's your plan for your business? And he's a talker, but at that point he was really listening. And I said, my plan for my business is to make it bigger so it can be easier. And I told him, I said, I had that insight a couple years ago when I was really struggling in trying to keep up with everything. And I realized that I can't stay stagnant. It has to get bigger in order for it to get easier. And he said, I like that. He said, that's exactly my thought. He said, I want my business to be so automated that I can be as lazy as I want to be. Now, this man's not lazy by any means, but his point was he wanted to be able to spend more time with his family. He's got 5 kids, and they're young kids and probably going to have some more children. So he wanted to, he saw that vision of, he has an RV because he has an RV park. He said, I want to be able to travel with my kids in the RV and go see different things. And they homeschool and they could do different schooling activities on the road. And he said, I really want that experience in my life, but I have to automate some things. And so he and I connected in that idea of, in order for it to be easier, it has to get bigger. In order for it to get bigger, you have to automate. You have to have systems in place in order to free your time up so you're not doing things that you shouldn't be doing. Another insight that he had, because I was asking, well, how do you run this mobile home park? And he said, one of my first thoughts was that my employees are not my friends. My tenants are not my friends. And you kind of have to get your bluff in. He's the nicest guy in the world, but you have to get your bluff in that you're serious about what you're asking them to do, whether it's a tenant or an employee, and that you expect them to do it. You kind of have to get your bluff in that if they don't, bad things are going to happen. But also that if they do it, good things are going to happen. It's interesting. This guy, he showed me around his house, and he's got a small wine cellar, and him and his wife make wine. And I was like, is it any good? And he's like, it's okay. He said, I'm from California. Good wine is in California. And he said, there's no good wine here. He said, there might be good wine, but they don't know how to distribute it. They ship it when it's hot, and the wine sits there in a hot truck. And he said, I'm thinking about starting a wine distributorship. And I was like, well, that's actually a pretty good idea. So he's got all kinds of ideas. But the point is, in order to capitalize and go after those ideas, you have to systemize what you have in place in order to free up your time. So it was a great visit. Just as a side note, I grew up in a mobile home park and not such a privileged environment, but it made me who I am today. So I'm thankful for that. It was like a step back in time when I got to go through and tour his mobile home park. I'm like, okay, yeah, these are simple people living, below the means of what you and I are living at. So I'm very thankful for where I'm at now and thankful for what that has made me, and to be able to look back on that and draw from that experience. So I'm curious, what systems have you put in place that have really benefited you to free up your time? What are some things that you were doing? You're like, I shouldn't be doing this. I need to teach somebody else to do this. And this is something that I exactly teach in the Academy of Private Practice, how to implement systems, how to grow your business. All right. So if you're interested in that, go over to startatherapypractice.com/academy, because enrollment is probably opening soon. I only open enrollment a few times a year. If you have any questions, put a comment down below. All right. Godspeed to you and your practice.